Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our virtual live farm tour. We are so excited that you are here with us today as we visit our friends at Marcoot Jersey Creamery. My name is Allison Fenderick, and I work for Midwest Dairy. We represent 6,000 dairy farm families across the Midwest region. Before we get things kicked off here today, I want to introduce my friend Diane with the Illinois Farm to School connection, and she's going to tell us a little bit more about their organization.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Diane, and I have the best job in the world. I work for the Illinois Farm to School Network. I am so excited to be part of this dairy tour with all of you today. I wonder how many of you watching know what Farm to School is. This program is a great way for kids and parents and teachers to taste, grow, and learn all about local foods right in your hometown. You can easily connect to farm to school, to science, to art, language, history, and so much more. We've even got great ways to learn to cook the food you've grown. So this is just a quick slide of some of our programs, so you can see all the different things that we do across the entire state of Illinois. This is just a snapshot of some of the things we do. So I want go to the next slide, and there we go. FYI, after a fun lesson about how corn pollinates, the little guy in the picture was trying to count the number of silks on his ear of corn to discover the number of kernels on that corn. So if you want to learn more, you want to experience Farm to School, or just see what it's about, contact us and explore our website. Now let's get this dairy tour rolling. Back over to you, Allison.
Thank you so much, Diane. And I do want to remind you all today as we go along, feel free to type your questions into the chat box. We're going to try to answer as many as we can. We know there's lots, so hopefully we're able to get to yours. So now we want to get to the main event. We're about to go see my favorite animal, the dairy cow, and we're going to see where this delicious dairy magic happens over with our friends in Illinois at the Marcoot Jersey Creamery. So everybody help me in welcoming our friends Laura and Beth.
Hey guys, thank you so much. We're so excited to welcome you guys out here to our family farm. So I'm sitting out here in our milking parlor with Clover, and Marcoot Jersey Creamery is a 7-generation dairy farm. That means for years and years and years, this family has milked cows, Jersey cows, just like Clover and members of her family. So we not only milk cows on this farm, but we take that delicious milk and turn it into cheese. And I hope you guys like cheese. We love cheese out here. And on our visit today, even though it's virtual, we get to learn all about how we make cheese, about how we care for Clover and the cows here on our farm. So Clover is 3 weeks old. She just was born this month, and she is a heifer. A heifer means a girl, a young female calf, and she's obviously extremely friendly. Her main food is milk. I hope you guys like milk out there. I love milk, but she drinks it a little differently than you guys drink your milk, and she's already had her breakfast this morning. That's why this is empty, but this is how she gets her milk. Twice a day, this giant baby bottle. It can fit a half gallon of milk in that. Isn't that crazy? So she can drink this in about 5 minutes. She's pretty efficient. And then in a few weeks, she will be old enough that we will wean her off of the milk, and she'll get to eat new foods like corn. She thinks that's delicious, and hay. And she will grow so big, so quick. So when Clover was a brand new baby, she was about 50 pounds. Every day she gains a little more weight. Oh, I know, baby. And when she will be about 2 years old, she'll be full grown. That blows my mind. I think it's so cool. Full grown for a Jersey cow like her would be around 1,000 pounds. Isn't that so cool? She's so precious. So we have about 100 dairy cows on our farm that we get the milk from, and we milk them robotically. So soon we'll learn about that. But before we do, are there any questions about Clover or how we are out here at Marcoot Jersey Creamery, what we do?
Hi, Laura. One question that the students at Gardner High School have, they would like to know if your cows get exercise in the winter time.
Oh, very good question. Okay, whether or not they get exercise, yes, they do. They have plenty. We have about 140 acres out here on the farm that they can walk around on. They also have access to several buildings. So when it's cold outside and they want to be protected, they can be out in and don't have to be out in those elements. But yeah, they have plenty of room to get exercise, to roam around. Right now, just for the video, I've got this halter on Clover just so she stays in this because she's not used to staying in this small of an area. But I figured you guys didn't want to see me running around. Nobody wants to see me run. Good question. Thank you so much for that.
We have
Any other questions? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. We have one more question. They would like to know what is on Clover's ear.
Oh, good question. Okay. They are maybe not the most beautiful, but these ear tags help us know more about Clover. So the ear tag, it's kind of like getting your ear pierced. It's just a quick pinch in her ear, but this stays on there all the way till she's a grown-up. But it not only has a number on there that helps us know her name, it tells us who her parents are, how old she is, and that way we can make sure to take the best care of her. It's just a nice identification. And because it's on her ear, it's very easy for us to see and for it to stay nice and clean, just like Clover. Great question. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you guys while we're out here is what Clover will eat as she gets a little bit older, because we talked about that she has milk, but then as she gets a little older, she will eat these delicious foods I've got over here. So in this bucket, this is hay. Hay is wonderful dried grasses that cows think are delicious. So when I was sitting with Clover, I was sitting on some straw bales. Straw and hay are totally different. Straw doesn't have that delicious nutritional value hay does. And then in this bucket, I've got some feed that we give her. So this is pressed into a pellet to make it really easy for Clover and her friends to eat. But it's got corn and molasses and wonderful good food and nutrients in it. So they will get the appropriate amount of both of this, and they will drink our animals on the farm a lot of water. And behind me, you might be able to see some of our friends that have decided to join the tour as well. This is some of our milking herd that have come up to these viewing windows that are behind me. And you can see how big in 2 years that Clover will grow, because these are some of our full-grown animals out here on the farm, our Jersey cows. Now, dairy cows, there's 7 breeds that are well known for giving great milk. Jersey is just one of them. They're this beautiful brown color, but you can see these cows also have that yellow ear tag in their ear, just like they got when they were a baby calf. They're just much bigger as they're full grown now.
Laura, we have another question.
Oh, great.
Audrey would like to know how Clover got its name.
Oh, well, all our cows on this farm are named. Often the 8th generation of Marcoot family help us name, and that is the case with Clover today, because sometimes us adults get a little less creative. So we definitely rope in the whole family when it comes to naming and taking care of our animals out here on the farm. Great question.
We have another question from Emily. She would like to know, how much hay does a cow eat in a day?
How much hay a cow eats in a day? Good golly, that will change throughout the year. So this time of year, I'd say 25 pounds of hay, up to 50, 15 pounds of grain. In the summer, when grass is growing, they get to eat that grass directly from our pastures. So we don't give them as much hay, which is the dried version of what they are going to find on our pastures. But they can eat a lot. And water-wise, they can drink about a bathtub full of water in the course of the day. So they definitely can chow down.
That's a lot of food and water.
From where I'm standing too, you guys might be able to see, I hope the window's not too glary, a brush that's hanging from the barn. It's black and red. Those are back scratchers. We've got a couple of those on the farm. That way, well, of course, now that I'm talking about it, a cow's probably not going to walk right underneath it. But if she did, that would scratch her. And it's a great comfort thing for our cows. And it's just another way we can keep them healthy and happy out here on the farm. So, and as you can tell, I think they like seeing all you guys virtually because they're hanging out up here by the window more than over at the back scratcher. But what's going to happen next, we're going to head to where these cows go to get milked. So I'm going to walk around and we'll get to check out our robotic milking system we do here at Marcoot Jersey Creamery. You guys ready for that?
Thanks, Laura. While you're walking over there, I think we have some dairy trivia to ask our students. So I hope you guys are ready for, and you have quick fingers because we're going to ask you some questions here. Okay, so our first trivia question is, how much does the average dairy cow weigh? A, 500 pounds, B, 800 pounds, C, 1,200 pounds, or D, 2,000 pounds? So we're going to give you guys just a little bit to answer that question, talk amongst yourselves or with each other to see what you think. I see a lot of guesses for A, some coming in for C. Okay, let's reveal what the answer is. D, the answer is actually 1,200 pounds. That is a lot of weight. So while we're waiting, let's see if we've got one more trivia question that we can ask. You guys are very good. You're very smart. So the second one is, how many 8-ounce glasses of milk does it take to make 1 pound of cheese? That's my favorite dairy food. I'm sure lots of you enjoy that as well. So for A is 10, B is 20, C is 50, or D is 100. Let's see what you guys come up with. Lots of D's. Okay, let's see what the answer is. B, 20 8-ounce glasses of milk, just to make that little bit of cheese. So you guys are awesome, great, smart students. Are we ready to see now where the magic happens in the robot room? Awesome, Laura, take it away.
Awesome. Okay, so yes, I'm in a new background now because I'm inside the milking parlor. So next to me is one of our robotic milkers. Now, it's not a beep bop boop bop robot. It's so cool though. So right now, if you can see, there is a cow in here and there's another cow peeking in too. But what is super cool, this robotic milker attached itself to the cow's udder. And you can see right now there's 4 tubes. Well, a couple just popped right off because she's almost done getting milked. But this robot automatically attached everything to this cow's udder. And the udder is where all that cow's milk is stored. And you can see we've got another cow waiting patiently to be next in line. But it's so cool because not only does this robotic system milk the cow, she's getting a snack this whole time she's in here. So the technology involved, that how we can take care of our cows is so cool. But to get this all to work, each of our cows are wearing one of these around their neck. Now, when I was in the other part of the barn earlier, you might have seen some of those mama cows with this on around their neck. So I like to call this a Fitbit because there's a lot of technology. Even though it goes around their neck like a necklace, it's not just a necklace. So in this part, there is a lot of technology, a computer chip, if you will, and it is what activates this robot to milk the cow. It tracks the cow, how many times she's been milked throughout the day, and we can customize that for each of our cows. So let's say there's a cow, she can get milked anywhere from 2 to 5 times a day. And during the course of the day, we can get 5 to 6 gallons of milk a cow here on our farm. That is a lot of milk, more than I can drink in a day, that's for sure. So here at the bottom is just a nice weight. My favorite question when people visit us is, why do these cows wear bells? It's not a bell, it's just in a weight. So this stays comfortably placed around the cow's neck the whole time she's in there. So this cow looks like she is almost done. This robotic arm is going to spray some wonderful essential oils on her udder when she's done. That helps prevent any bacteria from getting in her udder, which helps us keep our cows super healthy. And then all of the milk that was in this cow's udder is going to go into a refrigerated holding tank to stay there until we're ready to turn it into some delicious cheese. But I don't know if you guys can see how just one tube of that milking claw is on the cow's udder. Well, now it just popped off and the spray is going on, and this arm is going to tuck away, and then a front gate will open so the cow can comfortably leave. And then this whole system is getting sanitized while the next cow comes in. That way we're not sharing germs from cow to cow. So that is super helpful. And now I believe we may have another contestant, but while we're waiting for that, you can see where all that milk went from the robot into this jar. We're going to pull a sample, or the robot automatically pulls a sample from this milk so we can track wonderful information about our cow's milk, the protein levels and whatnot from it. But let's see, we may have another cow getting ready to come through. If you notice, we just had a cow come in and the robotic arm did not get activated. That's because that cow had just been milked recently. This system is so intelligent, it won't let a cow get milked before it's time. That way, if a cow visits too quickly, it would not be good for her udder. It would irritate it. So we want to make sure she's getting milk 2 to 5 times a day, that's spaced out throughout the day. Technology is great, let me tell you. It makes our lives so much easier, and it gives us a lot more information to take care of the cows. All right, if you hear that noise, this robotic arm is getting ready to take care of our next cow that came in. So you might see a red and white brush that is cleaning the cow's teats on the bottom of her udder, like a baby car wash, I like to think of it. So it's getting each of those 4 teats cleaned. And then you'll notice the arm's going to spray a sanitizer on those brushes. And then it will go right back to the cow's udder and brush them again. Not only is this super sanitary, like you should wash your hands before you eat, but this is also great because it's helping release a hormone that's in her brain to help her let her milk down. So it just makes milking the cow that much more efficient. A cow is only in this robotic system for about 4 minutes. It's super, super quick.
Laura,
And I don't know if you guys can tell in the video, but that cow is standing very calmly. They come in on their own. We train them to come here, but it didn't take long because they love to get milked. So now this robotic arm is going to, cup by cup, attach to that cow's udder. And it's kind of like a vacuum. It's using air pressure to get the milk from the cow.
Laura,
It is so cool. I never get tired of watching this, let me tell you.
we're getting lots of questions about whether or
Oh,
not
I bet.
the cow, the milking hurts the cow.
Oh, very good. I'm so glad you guys asked that. It does not. And I know that because they walk in here voluntarily. If something hurt, they would not come in here on their own. And they stand here very calmly as well. And I know if it was anything that would hurt them, they wouldn't do that at all. And I know we do our very best here on the farm to do everything super safe for our cows because they are the reason why we're in business. Without these cows, there would be no Marcoot Jersey Creamery. So we take the best care we possibly can. And this robotic system really helps us do that. Great question.
Awesome. We'll go through
Any
one.
others?
Yeah, we've got one more that wants to know, how much milk do you get in those 4 minutes?
Oh, could you repeat that? Sorry.
No, that's okay. They would like to know, how much milk do you get in those 4 minutes that they're milking?
Oh, it depends on the cow, how much we get. Usually each time they get milked, it's around a gallon of milk. On average, we get throughout the day, 24 hours, about 5 to 6 gallons of milk. Each cow can be a little bit different, so that's a pretty good average with a Jersey cow, 5 to 6 gallons a day. So about a gallon each time they're milked to a gallon and a half. Great question.
Awesome. Well, I bet these students would like to see what happens after. What do we do with all this? What do you guys do with all this milk on your farm?
I'm very excited to show you guys. So our last stop will be inside the creamery. So I'm going to make my way in there. It's the best smelling part of the tour. If you were actually here, you would understand that joke. It would be very funny. But we're going to learn how we take this milk and turn it into delicious cheeses. So I'll meet you guys inside.
Awesome. And while you're walking over there, I think we're going to show the students what your cows are doing right now when they're out on pasture.
Perfect. It's probably going to disconnect like crazy.
So as you guys can see here, their cows enjoy being out on pasture on this green grass. This is a video from previously. It's probably not as green in Illinois right now with the great weather that we're having, but this is what the cows are typically doing on a typical day. And while we're waiting, we may have a couple more trivia questions to bring us over to the creamery. I'd love to hear in the chat box too, some of you guys' favorite dairy products that you enjoy. I know I love ice cream, cheese, milk, yogurt. I love it all, but would love to hear what some of you guys are excited to try. And let's see if we can find one more trivia question. Okay, are you guys ready? How many servings of dairy are recommended each day for kids to consume? Is it 1, 3, 5, or 10? Now, some of us consume a lot more than 10, but what is the recommendations for a healthy diet? All right, let's see how well you guys did. Lots of guesses for 3, and you guys were right. It is 3. That's awesome. The USDA recommends children consume 3 servings of dairy every day. So we hope you guys are going to get your 3 servings in today, and we're excited to head back to the creamery to see what maybe some of those products are.
I am inside the creamery part of Marcoot Jersey Creamery. So creamery means we do something really fun and delicious with the cow's milk here on the farm. And at Marcoot Jersey Creamery, we're cheesy people. That's the main thing we make. So I'm going to fill you in on a secret of our family's secret recipe of how we make cheese. So I've got a little show and tell on this table. The first ingredient is obviously that wonderful milk, but to turn milk into cheese, we need to start with culture. And that's what's in this first container. It's kind of white and powdery, but this culture is how we flavor our milk to the cheese flavor we want. So some of you may know lots of cheese flavors, some of you may not, but like cheddar, Swiss, mozzarella, one of my personal favorites, are all different flavors or kinds of cheese. And how we get that starts with what culture we use. And you can see this is not a very full container because surprisingly, it doesn't take a lot of culture to flavor that milk. Now we'll add that, stir it around, and it takes about an hour until we're ready to add the next ingredient. Now, I'm not a very patient person, so sometimes waiting to make cheese can take a while, anywhere from 4 to 8 hours to make a batch of cheese. So I'm usually out here then in the kitchen making the cheese. I leave that to my sister-in-law. But in about an hour, then we're ready to add the next ingredients. And that is this liquid that is called rennet, R-E-N-N-E-T, rennet. Now, these ingredients might be new to you. They were to me, and because they're very specific for cheese making. So you probably won't go to your cupboard at home and be able to make cheese later on today, especially without your parents' permission. But you'd have to get very special ingredients like we have here. But the rennet does a great job of thickening up the milk. And after about another hour, that milk will be so thick, it's turned into a curd, one big curd. So we'll cut that. And in this next container, you will see what happens to that milk. It's actually started to turn into cheese. Actually, in this container, it's a well-known cheese if you're a nursery rhyme fan. Little Miss Muffet, she sat on her tuffet and she ate this. It's curds and whey. So I'm gonna get my hand in here. The curd are these tiny pieces. I think it kind of looks like cottage cheese. The whey is the liquid that's in here. So whenever we make cheese, we get curds and whey. I don't know why Little Miss Muffet stopped here, because we don't. It's not done yet, but we do separate the two. The curd, we need to add one more ingredient to, and that's in this container. It's finally an ingredient that you've heard of before. It's salt. Salt not only is going to help us have a delicious flavor to our cheese, but it's a preservative. That means it helps keep our cheese fresher longer. And then the curd will go into containers like this. This is a hoop. My bad joke is hoop, there it is. Yeah, I know, it's bad, I told you. And then you might notice there's a bunch of holes in this hoop. That's so any extra whey can press out, and what will come out is a wheel of cheese just like this. Isn't this adorable? Now we make wheels of cheese up to 25 pounds. I just didn't want to struggle and hold up one of those. I like the 5-pound version. And then we can cut a wheel of cheese like this in a cute wedges, just like such. So inside this wheel of cheese would be several pieces of cheese just like this. This is probably easier to put in your fridge than a whole wheel of cheese like this. So that's what we do with the curds. With the whey, we figured out an awesome way to turn that into something healthy too. Dairy foods are really good for you. Milk has so much protein, so does cheese. It has vitamins. It's going to be a really good part of your diet. But we can take the whey, add fruit to it, and make it into a sweet treat. We call it extreme ice. If you like strawberry, mango, strawberry, banana, those are the flavors that we've started off with. It's just whey, it's just the fruit. We freeze it. It's kind of like a sorbet, if you've ever had that before. I call that a fancy popsicle if you haven't. But it's a delicious, high protein snack. This little teeny tiny container, it's 5 grams, 20 grams of protein, which is super healthy and good for you. So from cheese making, we can make whey products too. And on the board, as Beth's showing you, I've got many of our cheeses. So a great snack, a great meal can always include cheese for sure.
Thank
You
you.
guys haven't, Oh yeah, it was to say if you had any questions about our secret family recipe of making cheese.
Yeah, so I know we're getting close to our 30-minute time, but I did want to ask you just a few questions before we wrap things up today. Lots of the students are wanting to know if you guys make ice cream.
We do make ice cream out here too. We realize not everybody wants their dairy all the time in the form of cheese. So we make several different ice creams out here too. That's one of my favorite ways to have it as well. So we do make ice cream.
Awesome. And then one more a question. They want to know what flavors of cheese you guys make.
Oh, awesome. We make about 20 different flavors, some that are like my example here on the table that are harder, drier, kind of like a Parmesan, some that are really mild and creamy like Havarti and Gouda. And in between, if you're a hot and spicy person, we have a 5-alarm Gouda. Anybody want to guess what the 5 alarms, what makes it alarming? It's peppers. It's habanero peppers. So I'm not a big heat loving person, but it's a really good seller for us. So we hopefully have something for everybody's taste buds out here. My personal favorite, as I reach over, are our curds. So these are garlic, dill, and chive, kind of like a garlic cheesy bread, minus the bread. That's what it reminds me of. And it's a great snack. You just open up the bag and go enjoy.
That sounds fantastic. So before we say goodbye to you and your gorgeous cows, is there a way for people to learn more about your farm and how they maybe be able to come visit you?
Awesome. Yes, we have a website, marcootjerseycreamery.com, and we have tons of information on there. We've got some fun teacher resources on there too for educators, but it will tell you our hours, how you can get us. It can also tell you where you can find our products. Obviously, you can come out here and visit us and see me. That's a good time. But I know that's not always most convenient for folks. So Schnucks and Deerbergs and a lot of places that carry our cheeses are listed on marcootjerseycreamery.com, our website.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Laura. I had a blast and now I'm hungry, as I think probably most of our students are. But we really appreciate you joining us today and giving us a sneak peek into the creamery, into the farm, and we absolutely loved it. But before we leave you all today, we just wanted to let you know we are going to be sending out a follow-up email with the recording, so you can come back and check out the awesome cows one more time and the great delicious dairy products. There'll also be a survey. So, and like she had mentioned, you can get more information at their website, marcootjerseycreamery.com. You can also visit midwestdairy.com or discoverdairy.com for some more resources and lesson plans. And then also be sure to check out that Illinois Farm to School network as well. So thank you so much for joining us. We absolutely loved having you. Thanks for the great questions, and we hope to see you all soon.